Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with Lamp Oil Stock, where we try to look at things with a Hebrew Israelite perspective. And what are we talking about today?
Well, today I want to talk to the women, so I don't know how much you're going to be talking.
Okay.
But it's been something that's been on my mind for a while. You know, I did a video at one time speaking to the women, and I said that I was a sexy caramel. And I say this thing because I love myself.
Right.
And no matter what color I am, I would love myself. And just because I'm a woman, I still love myself, you know?
Yeah, that's the point.
And sometimes you hear stuff and it makes you feel like women aren't as loved by the Most High as men are. You know, if you go to other countries, you'll see where they want a male child and they may abort or kill a woman child or something because they're just not as valued. And I don't read in the Bible anywhere where it says that the woman is not valued or loved by the Most High.
Right.
If you look at the Adam and Eve story, where, you know, you have a lot of people who want to say all of these negative and bad things about Eve because she took a bite from the apple.
Right.
And true, she did. And then she gave it to her husband. And she was punished for what she did. And Adam was punished for what he did. But you don't hear the Most High condemn her or condemn Adam for listening to his wife.
Right. I got you.
You know, you don't hear him say, don't listen to anything Eve says anymore. Her job is to, you know, have sex with you and cook your dinner.
No, it does not. It does not say that. It does not say that. It does say helpmate, which to me implies a team.
Right. It does imply a team. In the Bible, it says that my body belongs to my husband, but it also says that my husband's body belongs to me.
Right.
So we are a team, and we have different jobs, different things to do, but we are a team. And a lot of times I hear all of this negative stuff about women. I know that one of the big things that you hear is, oh, well, she's just a Jezebel. When you have a strong woman who is speaking what's on her mind about this or about that.
Right.
And it's kind of like somebody heard the name Jezebel, and then they just decided to stick it onto women and for anything without even understanding who Jezebel was.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk a little bit about who was Jezebel. Well, one, she was not an Israelite. Right? She was a princess from a different kingdom that King Ahab married. Now, if we look at King Ahab, he was the king of the northern kingdom, and he was evil.
Right.
The Bible talks about how he was evil, and, you know, it took on the traditions of his dad that was evil.
Right.
So he was evil, and then he goes out and marries a woman not of our nation in order to cement some power and to bring those nations together, which we're not supposed to do. And then they worshipped the god Baal.
Right. Now, this isn't Chronicles, right?
This is in First Kings.
Now, well, okay. If it's in Kings, then it's also in Chronicles, or maybe.
First Kings, verse 16.
Okay, Kings. I got it.
it says that, First Kings chapter 16, verse 31. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that he took a wife, Jezebel. So we're talking about King Ahab taking a wife, Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him.
Okay, so we are talking about a woman who is not an Israelite,
right?
Who has married an Israelite,
right?
And she has brought her pagan ways with her,
right?
Okay, I'm just checking.
Well, she did. She brought her pagan ways with her,
right?
But he had already gone pagan.
I got you.
You know, because he marries her and then he builds her some grove and some temple so that she can worship this God inside of his house. So, was she evil? No doubt. No doubt. The Bible talks about how evil she was. But the Bible also says that an evil husband has an evil wife.
Right.
So, because he was evil, he married someone evil.
I got you.
And then because of who she was a princess from this other kingdom, she was able to use her worship of Baal to give this king more power.
I got you.
And she allowed him to do the things that he wanted to do and went out of her way to make what he wanted a possibility through her worship of this other guy.
I got you. Okay.
So she was not, well, no, she was extremely evil. But that's not the point. She wasn't evil because King Ahab listened to her. You know, she was evil from the beginning.
From beforehand. I got it. Yeah.
You know, but so was he. And so what she did was help him do what he wanted, his heart's desires. Now, we talk about revelations and we talk about the Jezebel spirit. But that spirit is someone who allows their husband or helps their husband get away and do things that go against the Most High. That's what that spirit is. It's not someone standing boldly and trying to live righteously and tell people how to live righteously or help their husband be a righteous person by correcting him if he needs correcting. But that's the way women for the most part are being betrayed. If you have a voice that's not submissive, you're being betrayed as a Jezebel.
Right.
Or someone evil.
Now, let me make sure. Okay, I'm playing host. Since I don't have.
Well, you play your host.
That's what I do. I play host. Okay, so let's codify this. The role, the wife role, is to support the husband.
Right.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's actually what Jezebel is doing. She is supporting her evil husband in evil ways.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's what she's doing.
Right.
Now, a righteous woman would be supporting her husband in a righteous way. And if he steps out of line, it's her job to help get him back in line, right?
Right.
And if he's doing righteous, it's her job to help support him in that righteousness.
Right. But if he won't get in line, it's still her job to do righteous. Right. You're not supposed to support an evil person regardless of who it is.
Right. Now, as a man, I'm going to say I focus more on the men's side of things. But I don't see anywhere in there where it just tells women just to be quiet. That's not the point. And it talks about, in a marriage relationship, to be evenly yoked, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you have a man who is bold and standing out, he should be with a woman who is bold and standing out. That would be evenly yoked, right?
Right.
It wouldn't be evenly yoked if you have someone who is really strong yoked with someone who is really submissive. That would actually not be evenly yoked.
That's right. But the problem is that you have a lot of these so-called men and that are doing evil things in one form or fashion or another. So they want that woman from a different nation who is submissive and just allows them to say and do whatever they want. Now, I don't care about the women from the other nation. They should be submissive to their husbands because their power comes solely from their husbands. But my power comes from my husband and my God.
Right.
Right. So if my husband is doing wrong, it is my job to keep him on track. The same way if I'm doing wrong, because I could get all up in my feelings and say or do something, and then it's my job, the husband's job, to then correct me and get me back in line, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, keeping each other on the right path.
Now see, that's the yoke concept, or the yoke symbol again. If you have two horses pulling and one is pulling stronger than the other one, you're going to go in a circle. But if you have two working together, you keep on the straight path. That's the idea, right?
Right.
You know, that is the cleave to your wife or cleave to your husband and working together to get to the goal being the Most High.
Right. It hurts me when I look at our women, because our women aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They are listening to people, men, who are caught up in their own feelings, that are still have some love for the world, and they are allowing these men to crush them
Right.
into submissiveness, which in the long run the man may feel good about it, but it's not going to help him. And since he is the head and he is what you need to help get you to the Father, then ultimately you're killing yourself.
Right. Well, what ends up happening is, in order for some men to raise themselves up, they're literally standing on their significant other to do it. They're literally standing on their wife to be higher, which instead of building up both, you just crush one so that the other one can see a little higher, and that makes no sense.
I feel women need to start to love themselves, no matter what color they are, how tall they are, what shape they are, because you're not here as something that's just supposed to look pleasing to someone else. You have a job to do. And yes, you have a lot of women out here who are evil. And yes, they need someone to talk to them and try to guide them. Those who have a righteous heart need guidance. You know, they talk about women who wear tight clothes. Well, when I was in the world, I wore tight clothes and that's all I had. I can't wake up today and just have on something different.
Right.
You know, because my money situation ain't that way.
Right. I got you. My bank account is not set up like that. I got you.
But that is the reason why you have the 10 Commandments, right? The 10 Commandments is the first 10 things you need to start working on once you come into the truth.
Right.
You work on those and get those things together.
Now, if you'll notice, none of those cost a thing.
Right.
The first 10 do not cost anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a way to get you to love the Most High and understand that He loves you, and then you start working to change the other things.
Right.
So it upsets me when I see that people, Israelites, trying to put the word out there, and yet what they want to do is focus on some physical characteristic of a person that may, true enough, be sin.
Right.
It may be wrong because of it, but you have to get a person to understand the love that God has before you can deal with that other stuff, right?
Right.
Because, you know, God says come as you are. You're not supposed to stay as you are, and you're definitely not supposed to leave as you are.
Right.
But when you first come, maybe I have on some tight clothes. Maybe I'm being revealing. Well, you know, the world says that that's a good thing, that that's the way you're supposed to be. So in the world, this is how I was. It doesn't mean that that's how I'm going to stay. And if you're just going to talk negatively to me or about me, that's not going to make me change.
Right. So let me see if I got you straight. Once again, playing host. Let me see if I got you straight. For you, there's a line between the believer and the non-believer.
Right.
And once the person crosses that line and becomes a believer, right, there is still growth that has to take place. So let's say yesterday they didn't believe and they were wearing, I'm using women for this particular example, but I'll use men. Let's use men.
No, just use women. Go ahead.
No. We'll use men. I'm a guy. Let's use men.
Okay.
So they're clean shaven, right? They've got on God knows what clothes. Who knows? They today have made the decision. They understand. They're an Israelite and they're going to start following the Most High.
Right.
Well, they don't have a beard. Whatever they may have been wearing could be, pants damn near hanging around their ankles. They're too big. Whatever it happens to be. They're not modest. Let me put it that way.
Right.
They're not going to be modest or have a beard the next day. That's just not going to happen.
That's right.
All right? The same thing goes for women. If your entire wardrobe is nothing but mini skirts, right, and see-through tops, and you've decided to change, your wardrobe is not going to magically become what it needs to be the next day.
Right. Neither are your ways. If I met, say, a prostitute, right? Well, a prostitute by trade is flirty, right? So, and they start hearing the word. Tomorrow, they're not instantly going to be non-flirty.
Right.
It is a change that happens gradually as you learn more and more about the Most High. So, judging people by just insta looks doesn't make any sense. Now, I did do a video where I talked about Raja and his small little beard.
Yeah.
But because that's different. If you have been in the truth for a long time, then I don't need to come to you as if you are a newborn child, right?
I got you.
I'm not going to treat you with those gentle hands that I would a baby.
Right.
So after you've been in the truth for a while, then I should expect you to be doing better. A lot of your ways should change, but not when you're first coming in. And I just feel like that these groups are just pushing a lot of women away. They were born today and now we're just going to start beating you over the head. I don't feel like the clothing thing is something that you should think about first, right? Let's get the first 10. Let's get a good understanding of what those things mean. And if you do that and the person starts reading and studying for themselves, they'll come across the clothes thing on their own.
Right.
They don't need you to tell them. Or at least as they question, you can talk about these things and add them in gradually. The Bible says love. But if you're calling women negative terms all the time and yelling at them, that's not love. That is you boasting yourself. It is you making yourself feel good at the expense of someone that God loves.
Now, let me take a moment here and talk about love for just a second.
Right.
We use that word in a double meaning.
Yes.
Because there is love, caring for your nation, individuals, people. And that is how that word is most often used.
Right.
But we also use it, the biblical standing of that word, because early on in the Bible, it talks about love as bringing someone to the Most High.
Right.
So this one, this has a double meaning here. You can love someone by bringing them to the Most High, but you also need to care about them as an individual as well.
Right. Right.
That is also a thing. So let me give you an example that I'm just having to be thinking about. Let's say you got somebody a woman who lives in Florida. It's hot all the daggone time. And wherever she happens to be at, and whatever her circumstances happen to be, she is wearing bikinis and draped around miniskirts that are, butt cheek high on a regular basis. That's just what she has, right? I mean, and then that's what her wardrobe is built on, right? She comes into the truth, right? She can't, the next day, she's not going to have modest, ankle length clothing because she doesn't own it. But she might have mid thigh. That might be the one thing she has that, for her, from her point of view, is modest. And to get to a different state of modest, or to get further along to what I might consider to be modest, it's going to take time and purchase power.
Right, but when you look at modest, there is no definition that says what modest is.
Right.
Because really, modest depends on, I would guess, the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
So modest in one place may be a skirt that goes all the way down to your ankles, and modest another place may be a skirt that goes down to your knees.
Right.
Right. So no one cares what your thought of modest is.
I got you. If you come from a nudist colony, modest is a t-shirt. That's just it. I mean, that's all you got. And that is a thing. To me, many of the precepts are intentionally vague, so that you have to internalize them, think about them, and work your way into them. They're not pencil ruled. I mean, they're not ink ruled, where it's like, your outfit must be 2 inches from the floor. The hem of your outfit must hang 2 inches from the floor.
Right.
They are intentional vague, so that when it says modest, you, the person, have to take that in and go, okay, well, this is what I've been doing, and here's what I'm moving into.
Also, when it talks about modest, it's not just the women who have to be modest.
That's correct.
It generally seems that when I hear people talking about this modest thing, it's always referring to the women.
Right.
But I see a lot of men in really tight shirts. And let me tell you, I love to see my husband in a really tight shirt. But he ain't leaving the house and going nowhere in that really tight shirt.
Gotta have that choice. I got you. I know what you're saying.
Right? So the men need to be modest, and not just the women. And some, that seems to get kind of put off by what you hear.
Let me put it this way. When I read the Bible, I don't read it, I don't read it as speaking to anyone. I read it speaking to me. And I assume that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I assume that unless it specifically says men must do whatever, I assume it is for the entire body.
Right.
So when I read it, now there is some examples where it'll say, with apparel, it'll say men cannot wear things that pertain to women, and it'll say women cannot wear things that pertain to men.
Right.
So in that instance, I'm with you. And later on, it'll say men may not cut the corners of their beard.
Right.
All right. So see, those lines to me are specific. But when it says "Thou shalt not kill," I assume that applies to everybody.
That's true, but what you hear a lot of times is that people will use these Bible verses to their own ends because of their own lust or greed or whatever little things that they're battling with, and they'll take them and they'll use it to hurt instead of using it to uplift and to achieve a common goal, which is getting closer to the Most High. Like, I have a video or that I want you to play a portion of.
Okay, here we go.
Same chapter, Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertains unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. But I know what you're thinking. They didn't wear pants in Bible days. Shut the hell up. Shh, you don't know the scriptures. Let me show you. Come along with me. Exodus 28. Exodus 28. Exodus 28, and we're going to read verse 42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches. Do you know what breeches are? Pants. Breeches are pants. Look it up. breeches, breeches. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins, meaning from their waist, even unto the thighs, the lower thigh, just above the knee, they shall reach. So what the hell are you talking about, you lying black Christian pastor? Just be quiet. Y'all can't handle the Israelites. Just be quiet. Listen and learn. Okay?
So he reads that a woman should not wear that pertaineth to a man.
Yep. Okay.
And then he goes to Exodus 28 and he says, and thou shalt, no, that was the code. I'm sorry. Which one was it? 28 and what?
Exodus 28. And, oh man, I feel bad. Hang on just a second. I'll have to look back here just a moment.
Oh, and Exodus 28 and 42.
Okay.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness from the loins even unto the thighs. They shall reach.
Right.
Now he says, shh, be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Come along with me. So I want him to shh, be quiet. Because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Come along with me. So let's look up breeches. And what I wrote is, what I typed in Google was, are breeches underwear? And it says, like other words for similar garments, pants, knickers, and shorts, the word breeches has been applied to both outer garments and undergarments. At first, breeches indicated a cloth worn as underwear by both men and women. Now, he gives you a description of this so-called pants that men are supposed to wear, right?
Okay.
And it's supposed to stop above the knee. Now, if you'll look at some old pictures of women with those big old hoop skirts on,
right,
you will see their breeches. Now, I know this because I'm a little old, and I lived with my grandparents, and whenever she said breeches, she was talking about my underwear. And, you know, so when they say breeches apply to men wearing pants, well, that's not really true. But even when you look at that, it's Exodus 28. If you go all the way up, come on, follow me to the top. It says 28 and 1. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar,
right,
Aaron's sons. So what this chapter is talking about is that the priests have to wear these undergarments underneath their robes before they go in to the holy place.
right.
And they take this verse to say, women are evil if they're wearing pants. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Okay. Now hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not taking the other side, but I do got to ask a couple.
Go ahead.
I got to ask a couple of questions. Is there anywhere that you know of,
Right.
that says women shall not wear pants or breeches? Does it say that?
No.
Okay. And I didn't think it did.
There's no place that I know of, nor was he saying all men needed to wear these breeches. It was a particular group of men that needed to wear these breeches.
Okay, so let's hit another hot one here real fast. From your point of view, can women wear men's pants?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because it says that a woman should not wear that pertaineth to a man. So anything that was made for a man, a woman should not wear. And vice versa.
Right.
Anything that was made for a woman, a man could not wear.
Okay. All right. So, like the picture we saw just a moment ago in the video, it's a dude in a skirt.
Right?
Wrong. Right?
Wrong. Because
Okay.
it was a skirt that was made for a woman. But if you go to some places, the men all wear what we would consider to be like dresses or skirts. Well, those things were made for the men to wear.
Now, you're talking about kilts.
Well, I'm talking about kilts, but in Africa, a lot of those men wear some long type of robe, dress, skirt, whatever.
Right. Now, let me hit you with something else. So I'm an Israelite.
Uh-huh.
If I were to go to Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually not asking a question. I'm going to make a statement.
Go ahead.
If I were to go to Scotland, I wouldn't wear a kilt. I still wouldn't wear a kilt. And the reason I wouldn't wear a kilt is it reminds me, as an Israelite, it reminds me of a skirt. Now, I could see why the men in Scotland might wear that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I wouldn't do that. Same thing if I went to Africa. I would only wear pants because it would remind me of a skirt.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But I could see if there was somebody who was brought up in Scotland or in Africa, although a little weird, brought up in Scotland or Africa, who might see a particular cut or whatever it may happen to be as a form of male clothing.
Right.
All right. But for me personally, I wouldn't do that.
Right. Nor would I want you to. And even though you can't use the Bible and tell me that I can't wear pants, because you are my husband, because you are my head, you can, as my head, tell me that I can't wear pants. But
I'm not telling you that.
But at the same time, I'm going to tell you, you can't wear a skirt.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, see, the reason I ask this is because there are Israelites are mixed all over the world. They're from all over the place.
Right.
Right? And you never know what culture that person was brought up in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're now converting. I mean, not converting. That's not the word I want to use. They're rediscovering
Who they are.
Uh-huh. So they're going to be coming from who knows where, and they're going to have all different types of views as to what is men's clothing and what is not men's clothing. And it will take them time to make decisions and also purchases to change whatever they may happen to be wearing.
Well, not only that, but since we live in America, you could have a person from Africa that wears a dress, skirt type thing that comes over in that outfit, and you could have some idiot yelling at him how he's wrong for wearing a dress.
When it's clearly not a dress, it is this thing.
you know?
Right.
So you have to be careful what you say, especially if you're going to have some huge platform where people from all over the world and everywhere can see and hear you, and you're yelling out these mean, nasty, hurtful things in broadly, you know,
Right.
in a broad aspect. So because you don't know what the circumstance is. I remember when I was a Christian in a church, it was a big church, and this person came in that was homeless, and they were real dirty, and all the people wanted to do was to rush them out of the church and take them downstairs to get a shower and put on some clean clothes. And I thought, well, you're missing the fucking point. They came here to listen to the word. They didn't come here to get you to give them a bath. So we judge too quickly, and in doing so, we're hurting a lot of people.
Right.
Because if the first law is love, I really don't feel like I'm seeing that. We have all sinned. We have all been sinners. I know I was a really horrible person. And to now say, well, hey, I've been studying and I'm good, so I can go out and yell and say all types of crazy shit to people walking down the street, just don't make any sense, because did you forget who you were? So anyway, women, what I'm trying to say is that I know as a woman, I've had a lot of bad things happen to me, and I've experienced a lot of bad things. And those things helped to make me into the person I used to be. You know, as I said, I was very evil at one point. And I have a lot of regret now over those things that I'd done, because I am trying to grow and change my ways. And I feel like no one has a right to look at me and put me down because of what I did in my past. Because we all have a past. And if you read the Bible and you see that God loves you, then you should be able to put away the old you and gather the strength and the power that the Most High gives you in order to be what He needs you to be. Because the men need us. They need us to help guide them when they start to go off. And we need them to help keep us on track when we start to go off. That's the only way that our nation is going to survive and to make it. You can't just be that little quiet mouse in the corner.
You got anything else?
That's about it. I'm not going to go into a thing.
All right. Well, hey, thanks. That's it. See, there we go.
Well, that's not an ending.
What do you got?
You were supposed to say a couple of things, and then I was supposed to say something else.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't have anything else. Okay. Anyway, so listen to our other tapes, what? They're not tapes. Our other podcasts. And thank you all so very much for taking a few moments to hang out with us. Do you have anything else?
Kwame Yasharala.
Bye.